Burkina Faso has just pulled off one of the boldest counter-terrorism operations in the Sahel region. Over 1,000 militants linked to Al-Qaeda were ambushed and neutralized in a matter of minutes using just 3 drones. But instead of global applause, a wave of international criticism has followed, and shockingly it's coming from BBC Africa. So now, the question must be asked, is the Western media undermining Africa's right to self-defense? And who really benefits when narratives are twisted? This is Pulse of Africa, and today we bring you a powerful story about the resilience and intelligence of Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Stay tuned, I'll be right back. To Pulse of Africa channel, your reliable place for real up-to-date news from across Africa. If this is your first time here, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you stay updated, informed, and connected to what's really happening from across the continent. Your engagement keeps our voice alive and strong. Disclaimer: the content of this video is based on credible, publicly available information, official statements, and other authentic online materials. It is intended for educational, analytical, and informational purposes only. We do not promote hate, violence, misinformation, or political unrest. Our sole objective is to provide context-rich insight into current affairs, amplify local perspectives, and support informed dialogue across Africa. This week, Burkina Faso became the epicenter of a dramatic showdown between state power and extremist terror. According to reports from national intelligence and eyewitness accounts, over 1,000 armed terrorists allegedly linked to Al-Qaeda launched a large-scale assault intended to destabilize the country, while President Ibrahim Traoré was attending the Victory Day parade in Russia. What the attackers didn't expect, however, was just how prepared the country had become under Traoré's leadership. Thanks to newly acquired military technology from Russia, China, and North Korea, Burkina Faso now had access to highly sophisticated drones capable of neutralizing large groups of fighters without putting soldiers on the ground. The attack came just days after President Traoré left for Russia. Many believe the timing was not coincidental. Intelligence had shown that these militant groups were tracking the president's movements, waiting for a moment of vulnerability. But instead of being caught off guard, Traoré had a plan. When the threat was detected, he instructed his forces not to engage immediately. Why? Because they had a different weapon ready. Within minutes, 3 drones were launched. 2 black drones, reportedly from North Korea, formed a V-shaped assault formation, herding the terrorists from local communities into the surrounding forest, and a white drone, a Chinese model, hovered above. Once the militants were grouped in the forest, the white drone descended and delivered precise strikes. Witnesses say it was a surgical operation. Some terrorists attempted to flee on foot or escape via motorcycles. One truck was left intact to encourage retreat, but the fleeing fighters didn't stand a chance. The drone locked onto the truck, disabling it without harming nearby civilians. The entire operation reportedly lasted under 1 hour. By the end, over 100 militants had been eliminated. This level of precision warfare shocked observers and demonstrated a significant leap in Burkina Faso's defense capabilities. But just as the nation was catching its breath, BBC Africa released a controversial report. According to their coverage, President Traoré's government was responsible for the death of over 100 civilians. Local sources and independent media claimed those so-called civilians were in fact militants posing as non-combatants. For many in West Africa, this wasn't just misinformation. It felt like a deliberate attack on the credibility of a rising African leader. The backlash was immediate.
How can you want to impose democracy by killing millions of people? That's dictatorship, that's not democracy. It can't be imposed.
Across Burkina Faso and much of Africa, young people were furious. On social media, users began calling for boycotts of BBC Africa. Many accused the Western media of trying to discredit African leadership at every opportunity. Some commentators pointed out a troubling double standard. When Western nations conduct drone strikes that result in casualties, they are framed as military operations. But when an African nation defends itself, it's suddenly a human rights violation. Several African political analysts have suggested that the criticism isn't about human rights at all, it's about control. As more African leaders turn eastward for alliances with Russia, China, and other non-Western powers, media narratives appear to be shifting in ways that delegitimize those moves. The government of Burkina Faso has firmly rejected BBC's claims. In an official statement, they reaffirmed that no civilians were targeted and that the operation was based on credible intelligence and advanced surveillance technology. They also hinted at foreign interference aimed at destabilizing the nation while the president was abroad. Furthermore, It was revealed that Russian forces provided logistical support, including air transport for President Traore to attend the Victory Day event in Moscow. This suggests a deeper level of cooperation between Burkina Faso and its eastern allies, which may be causing concern in Western capitals. Whether one supports or criticizes Traore, one thing is clear. The battle for Africa's narrative has begun, and it's not just fought with bullets or drones, it's fought with headlines and hashtags. So the question now is, was this a necessary act of national defense or a dangerous step toward military overreach? Is the international media genuinely concerned about human rights, or are they just uncomfortable with an Africa that chooses its own allies? We want to hear from you. Do you think Traore made the right move, or is the criticism from BBC Africa justified? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to Pulse of Africa for more